Hello everybody, it is me, Bo Shevasu. We are broadcasting live this August 21st. It's a beautiful Sunday just south of Seattle, Washington, and I have a fun show for you guys today. Now, a lot of people ask me, so Bo, what are your most popular products? Because you have made arguably hundreds, I actually say here in the description, thousands, and that's accurate. I have made so many videos for so many different products, including this microphone that I'm hitting, and I'm gonna show you guys my top 4, maybe 5 most helpful video reviews, because that's what makes me sort of different from a lot of influencers here on Amazon, is I like to actually show out in the field these products working. How are they installed? How do they actually work in my shed? You're gonna see in just a moment how my daughters actually weed the garden with this incredible tool. Whoever invented this thing, I hope this person has a nice house. I can only do so much saying, these tactical hair clips come in this package, and the packaging is pretty good. And I basically sit there and just read the back of the packaging, and that drives me crazy. As a consumer, I don't care about the unboxing. Now, full disclosure, sometimes I do unbox stuff because there's a little bit of retail therapy wrapped up in that, and it's just fun to see exactly what comes in the box, in the packaging, because sometimes you don't know. You need to go out and buy extra batteries, or do the batteries actually come in the box? So, in fairness, sometimes unboxings do help. But for me personally, I want to know what it actually, what's it doing out in the field? That's what makes me happy, and I hope that these videos are helpful for you. So it's going to be a very short broadcast today because I'm only showing the top few things. So first of all, I'm going to demonstrate for you guys what I'm wearing from my waist down. Now, a lot of you are like, whoa, Bo, are you staying appropriate? I am. Don't worry. I know there's a bunch of weirdos out there on the internet. Now, I actually teach mixed martial arts, and so if I were to hold up my leg like this and extend it out, you can see kind of my pasty white thighs right here, because I do live in the Pacific Northwest. But these shorts are so comfortable. I don't just wear them teaching mixed martial arts, but here even on my live broadcast. But that's my point. I can only do so much to kind of stand here like this and say, well, there's a Velcro right here, and it's got this slit right here, so that when I extend my leg out and do some kind of a Muay Thai kick, and I can't simulate that in a studio. You guys actually want to see us fighting, don't you? And believe me, we will be doing a martial arts broadcast. And yes, I'm going to be showing you our stun batons, my shock knife. We will be eliciting all sorts of pain on each other. It basically just feels like a whole bunch of hornet stings going into you. It goes away. It's just temporary. But you guys actually want to see, how does this gi work? How do these shorts work? Would these shorts work for you going out to exercise? Whether you're doing a jog, a walk with your dog, or CrossFit, and I show you guys how these things work. But first, as promised, my top most helpful reviews. Now, I actually went over to my mom's house. I know this sounds so weird. I said, Mom, you have a lot of exercise equipment, and she does. She's in great shape. I'm like, what's this thing right over here in your exercise room? And she calls it her Roman chair. And this thing is incredible for core building and core stamina. And I actually want to show you me working on this thing, because I can't take my studio space, nor can I actually set this thing up in front of you guys. That would just be absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to actually hop into this little guy right here and show you me attempting to work out on this thing. It just killed my abs so much. Are you ready for this? This is one of my top most viewed review videos. If you go to this page, you will actually see this exact video, and I want to give you a little bit of behind the scenes. But first, let's watch it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
If you're anything like me, you're probably looking at this Amazon listing wondering, what in the world does this actually look like put together in a real world home? So no, this is not a commercial. I'm not here to try to oversell you on anything, just kind of show you some quick little
And so there I am on the upper right, just you can't see my face, but I'm in pain. I'm in pain because I'm doing these pull-ups like way the heck out here. And I'm just like, thank goodness the camera's not on my face because a little tear was going down my left cheek. Let's continue with this.
Feedback things nice and close up, so of course we're gonna have to tighten that down
And this
like
was
so.
killer also on the far right there. You can see that you can do like these little leg lifts. And the cool thing about this is that my mom doesn't have a lot of space for her at-home gym. And so she's very intentional when it comes to shopping for exercise equipment. And this piece right here really doesn't take up that much of a footprint on the floor. And yet it's very, very versatile. So you saw me doing these wide, what are they called? Spread eagle pull-ups. And they also kind of have a step down below. So if you're not strong enough to actually pull up your entire body weight, you can kind of help yourself up, so to speak. A lot of people say to themselves, no, you got to do a dead weight pull-up. That's really a misnomer. I would actually recommend getting some sort of straps to alleviate some of that weight so that you can build the endurance of those muscles and then slowly start taking those straps away. Can you picture that? Basically, think of giant rubber bands that you would hang right on this bar, and they go down and kind of hook either underneath your feet or your knees. I prefer my feet because typically I work out in shorts. In this instance, I just have my pants on. But when there's rubber on my skin, on my knees, it's kind of uncomfortable. So typically, to get into shape enough to actually pull my own body weight up, I alleviate that using like rubber bands of some kind. But we're going to continue
down like so, and now it will not rattle. So this Roman chair is incredibly versatile. Of course, you would probably be using this for a lot of ab type workout.
And you can see me doing push-ups over there on the far right just a minute ago.
And so as you can see, it's very stable in this particular situation. You can do push-ups here. You can
Oh, I'm going to back up just a moment and prove my previous point. You see that little stool right there, right above my left wrist? That's a great example of someone, if you are of more petite, shorter stature. Got to be politically correct here, which, by the way, did you know that the average height for a woman in the United States, as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask this in the chat. What is the average height for a woman? No Googling, no Binging, if anybody actually uses Bing. I want to know your guess. Go ahead. Say in the chat right there what you think the average height, according to, I want to say the CDC, but that's kind of weird that the Center for Disease Control, yeah, it's not a census thing, but some government agency did some sort of, and they found the average height of women. So if you are an average height woman, you might need like a little wooden stool like this to actually get up to that level to do some pull-ups. Let's continue.
Situation. You can do push-ups here. You can do pull-ups. You can do chin-ups. You can do ab crunches, leg lifts, all sorts of fantastic things.
It's amazing. So
and this is what it looks like all put together. So I hope this helps, giving you a real-world demonstration. Works for us. Hopefully it works for you.
Isn't that neat? Yeah, so that is one of my top most helpful videos, and this thing is less than 58 seconds. By the way, there's my buddy Kelly. We're doing some MMA, and he's testing some handcuffs on me. I test everything. Some things don't work, and I don't tell you about that stuff. And so, yeah, isn't that fantastic? So that's the Roman chair, I guess they're called, or also known as a power tower dip station. Power tower. That sounds like a band from like the 70s or something. Wait, that's Tower of Power. Yeah, that's right. Okay, hey, let's move on to another fantastic review. Now, this one is really interesting. I'm just going to actually show you right here how this works.
Minions, it is me, Bo Shevasu. I am looking out in my backyard. You will see my shed out there, and it's quite a ways away. So I wanted to actually get a doorbell chime and hook it up to that door on the off chance that, I don't know, maybe someone tries to sneak in and steal my leaf blower or something, and it will chime in my house quite a long ways away. Oh, by the way, this is a giant slide. We got that installed when we put our deck in. How cool is that?
I was actually just playing on that very slide today. I kind of feel bad for our neighbors. It kind of looks rednecky, but the deck itself is really nice. Like we budgeted for a long time to afford this beautiful cedar deck. And I said, okay, lovely wife, we can get a deck as long as we put some kind of slide off the back. And this thing is huge. This pipe is so heavy. Yeah, I want to say it was over 1,000 pounds, like dangerously heavy. If this thing fell or rolled on you, yeah, you'd have a bad time. But it's just a highlight when kids come over and play with my kids. Sometimes we put like a pool down at the bottom, and so you get so much speed going down this thing. So anyway, back to the actual review here. This is a doorbell chime, and so what I did is, actually I'm going to go ahead and push play and just narrate this so you can actually get some visual here. Who's that guy in that beard? That's just obnoxious. He doesn't need a beard. It needs to be clean shaven. Oh, I need to shave my beard for my wife today. I get to she calls it the pokey stage, and she says that, yeah, she won't kiss me. Shame. So this little thing right here, you can see on the far right, that plugs into your house. And that's the chime, okay? And then in my left hand, you can see me unboxing it right here. That's the sensor that you put on the door itself. And so it's just a classic. There are two sensors, one on the door, one on the door jamb. And when they're disconnected, basically the door is opened, it activates this chime. This chime has so many different music modes. My daughters were actually playing with it. It has everything from William Tell, which is so obnoxious. You don't want that going off every time you open your shed door. At least in this case, it's a shed door. But you can see that it plugs in right there, and how you change it is you just push that little glowing button that you just saw right there. And then, oh, there's Lippy right there. That's my cat, one of our cats. We have a few cats. His name is Lippy because he has like a little lip on his lip. Most people do have lips on their lips. A little spot on their lips. There we go. This is live. I can't edit out any of these mistakes. Oh, Lippy, he's just so, what a handsome cat. He's just cute. Okay, so now that that's plugged in, here, let's go ahead and take a look.
All right, let's go ahead and change the chime by pushing this. So that's gonna be the next chime. Let's go ahead and turn down the volume, which is this side. It's got 52 different chimes. 52. There's gonna be a lot of options for you. By the way, for you people out there who are trying to figure out how to pair this little thing to this, very easy to do. So let's say, for example, you take it off and it's not chiming. You've unplugged it, you put it back in, it's just not working. Here's what you do. First of all, go ahead and put it together, okay? Now what we're going to do is we are going to press this and hold it down until it beeps, and then go over here and it beeped. Did you hear that when we did it? Now put it back. Now select this again, and that has just paired it to that. Okay, so now, theoretically, when we take it off, it should chime. Here we go. There it is. It works. It is now paired.
Yeah, isn't that nice? That chime sounds like a gas station, doesn't it? You probably just were like, I need to buy chips and an Arizona iced tea. Yeah. That chime just did it to you. We're conditioned. It's kind of like Pavlov, ring the bell. All of a sudden you're like, I need to buy gas right now because you heard that chime. So maybe this is like one of my most popular reviews, is because maybe people set it up and they accidentally disconnect it and they're like, man, I got to go back to that video and figure out how to actually pair this thing.
All right, here we are inside of our shed, and I want to show you something really cool about this door sensor. Now, you might think that it has to be oriented in a certain way, but it's very versatile.
It doesn't. So I watched some YouTube videos on robbers and burglars and what they like to target. And one of the things is sheds. They say there's so many unlocked sheds around here, around the United States, that it's so easy to just wander in there and immediately, just like that, they have $2,000 worth of power tools, which you can fairly easily liquidate at pawn shops and things of that nature. So I would recommend getting one of these, if anything, just for your shed or any kind of outdoor space, and just so that it will indicate that someone is opening your shed in the middle of the night. We do have also locks on our shed too, but that might be a little overkill because let's be honest, eventually people can get through some locks, but when it comes to a chime, that will wake me up, especially when this chime is right next to my bed. By the way, another behind the scenes, that t-shirt right there, it says same on the front, and on the back it says but different. Same, but different. Got that in Cambodia doing some mission work there. I run a nonprofit film studio, and I go all over the world filming for other nonprofits, churches, charities, and it's the world's greatest job. Been to over 33 different countries and have been doing it for about 10, 11 years. Lost count. But sometimes I pick up a t-shirt, and that's the t-shirt right there. So there's the review. This chime works absolutely wonderfully, and I almost wonder, once again, if people go back to this thing because they forgot how to set it up, and I show how to set it up because some of these instructions are so confusing. You can tell that these folks speak many different languages, and English is one of those rough languages that they have a difficult time with, which I don't mean that in a judgmental sort of way. Honestly, I can only speak one language, and I have mad respect for people who speak multiple languages, but considering that the closest country to me is to the north and they speak English, there's no real need for me to know another language. I've tried. It's just, you don't need it. As opposed to my friends in Europe. They're like, oh, shame on you for not knowing more than one language. Well, I would know another language if Oregon spoke French and Idaho spoke German, right? And California spoke Italian. I'd probably pick up on those languages, but they don't. They all speak the same language, so there's no real need for us in the United States to know another language. Now, if I lived closer to Mexico, I'm sure I'd probably pick up a lot more Spanish than I do now. So anyway, that's just a little side thing about people who try to guilt trip you and wag their finger into being like, how come you don't know more languages? I probably would if I lived in Switzerland, where they're surrounded by, 4 or 5 different languages. It's just, you just need to in that context. And I respect that. That's very, very handy, but I just don't have a need to. I'm a very practical sort of guy. Hey, let's move on to one of my last most helpful reviews, and then we're just going to call it a day. Yes, this is a short broadcast, but I try to pack as much information into these short and sweet little things as possible. Be sure to follow me because you want to be, well, sometimes you're notified, sometimes you're not. You can turn off the notifications. Don't worry, I won't spam you. But I think Amazon basically gives you a little chime if you open up the app and it's like, Bo Shevasu's live. He got some more epic reviews. And you can be like, yes, I want to watch him, or no, go away. I'm impossible to offend.
Hello, little minions. It's me, Bo Shevasu. Today we are coming to you with this steamer. It gets rid of all sorts of wrinkles. We're actually going to show you how it works. And also, real quickly, there are some other models out there that kind of look like this. This is significantly smaller. It also has a shorter cord. So if you're looking for a travel size, this. However, for 99% of you, you're probably going to want this guy right here. So let's hop right into this.
Isn't that fascinating that this is one of my most helpful reviews? Like, it's so shaky. I'm filming it on my phone. Look, I'm pouring water everywhere. I probably should have put more thought into this, knowing that thousands of people would be watching me. But here I am. I'm just calling it how it is. Like, hey, this cord is really long. It's much longer than other steamers. I'm going to show you a real example. You turn it on, you wait for a little bit, it starts bubbling, basically like a tea kettle. And then once it's done bubbling, you just take it, and with all that steam coming out, I prefer the little brush. You can see the brush attachment there. That forces you to kind of keep about an inch away from your clothing. This one does not have that brush, and you kind of press it right up against your clothes, and I don't like that much heat, especially if you have really nice fabric. This t-shirt is not a nice t-shirt. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but let's go ahead and continue listening.
Now let's go ahead and we're going to start from the top. We're going to gently brush down like so. This is just a conventional cotton shirt, and we're going up and down like this.
My wife specifically uses this steamer in the morning time when she doesn't want to bust out the iron, and yet she only has about 15 minutes to get ready and to run off to work, and still wants to look somewhat presentable to get some of these wrinkles out. Already you can see the difference between the right-hand side and the left-hand side. It's the steam is smoothing out all those wrinkles. You'll also see that it's kind of up against the wall. Sometimes it's kind of nice to sort of press it. Not too much, of course, because I don't want hot steam to be going up against my drywall. But you'll see that it is sucking away all the wrinkles. How neat is that? So already side by side, you'll see that some of the texture there is much smoother compared to all those little dimples and texture right on the left-hand side, of which we did not do. So there you go, 5 out of 5 stars. I hope that this is helpful in determining whether or not this is right for you. Do be careful, there's hot steam coming out.
Of course there's hot steam coming out, that's the point of it. But you won't believe how many people are, they've got these warning sticker labels all over these things, like, hey, here's a tea kettle, careful, it could burn you. You know, I like to say that behind every warning label, there's a story. There's a lawsuit. It's like, well, they didn't tell me that the McDonald's coffee was hot. Which actually, that in fairness, that's not a great example. That look up that lawsuit. There's actually a lot more to that one, and McDonald's is kind of at fault for that one. But in this instance, I mean, there's boiling steam coming out, and if you hurt yourself, I mean, come on, just use your brain. But it is very safe. I've never hurt myself before. Just make sure that it's securely on there, and it's much easier, much faster than using an iron. Now, I would say a old-fashioned iron is much more effective in getting the wrinkles out. But again, a lot of people, like my wife, for example, whom I used as an example in this video, she has some scrubs that she needs to just, put on and go off to work. And she doesn't have time to get the whole ironing board out and, heat up the iron and unravel it all. This, meanwhile, is basically underneath our sink. And she just hangs up everything, unravels that, takes about, I want to say 30, 45 seconds to heat up that water. And you are effectively able to get most of the wrinkles out of your clothing. So this is a great idea, a fantastic invention, and there's a lot of these steamers on Amazon. I've tried a few of them. I would say this is the best one. I would say because it has a long cord. I really don't like the short cords, especially when it comes to boiling steam, and you're maxed out real fast. And then also, as mentioned, it has this brush on the end that kind of forces you to stay away from your clothing. So you're not pressing this hot steam right up against the clothes, which will accumulate condensation, effectively making your clothes wet. And you don't actually want to make your clothes wet. You just want to get a little bit of steam in there to suck out and absorb some of those wrinkles. But yeah, this thing is just great. I love it. And it is one of my top rated reviews. And earlier, I think I actually said that I have where's another one? There it is. Oh, I've got so many reviews on here, you guys. I'm gonna actually drag this one over in just a moment. I need to show you one more. This Fisker's weed puller is just so epic. It's so nice. Let me load it in.
All right, we're gonna see if a child can.
Daughter. There's my daughter. She's cute. Okay, she's gonna actually demonstrate it for us in just a moment. But I need to make sure that you can actually hear the audio.
All right, we're gonna see if a child can do it. So first she has to identify exactly where the middle is. So let's lift this up and put it right in the middle. All right, go ahead and smash that down.
Actually, I'm gonna pause this to give a little commentary. So by the way, Amazon Live moderators, yes, this is my child. Yes, she does have written consent from her adult to be on all that legal stuff. It's so funny what you read in their terms and conditions. So yeah, don't remove the video. I am in compliance with your community standards. But anyway, I wanted to show how easy it is to pull weeds out, especially these dandelions with roots that go down like that far. And what better way of doing that to demonstrate using a 6-year-old, right? If a 6-year-old can do it, so could you. So this Fisker's weed puller, I was actually driving along a few Sundays ago on my way to church. I saw a guy on the side of the road using this same thing. I almost pulled over and yelled, I made a review on that. That's like a top rated review and has helped thousands of people. And this is this exact video right here. So let's go ahead and play it. And you can see how this thing works. First, it's got these teeth that you smash into around the root. And then as you pull it, that leverage forces the teeth to go together and it grips around the root. Isn't that amazing? Right? And then you can eject it going like that. Way to go, Penny. She did great. And you can see that, well, you have to be pretty precise with those blades and get it just right over the root. Because if you miss it, and you pull it back, or you pull it down rather, you don't want to pull it up. The more you pull it down, the more leverage and the tighter those talons grip. And oh, look at what Lucy's doing. She's just gonna throw it right into the yard waste right there. Well, actually, I think that's garbage. Should have done the yard waste. It's okay. If you're environmentalists, don't throw too many stones at me right there. So yeah, there you go.
All right, we're gonna see if a child can do it. So first she has to identify exactly where the middle is. So let's lift this up and put it right in the middle. All right, go ahead and smash that down all the way, smash it down. Good job. Now the more you tilt, the more it pinches and closes like this. So she's gonna tilt it. Nice.
And let's see if there's a root. Bam.
Got a lot of root. Now how do you eject it?
Amazing, isn't it? So if you are a kind of person who's kind of tired of going around on your hands and knees on your lawn trying to yank out dandelions, this is amazing. You can almost do it one-handed with a soda in one hand and this in the other, and you can go around on a nice cool summer evening and just eradicate all the dandelions. It's so satisfying. I actually do this before I go out and mow, and so I can easily identify where they are, and as opposed to like trimming down all the leaves. And then I just leave them there on top of the grass. I don't even put them into my yard waste, because then I go along and I cut the grass and I pick up the clippings, and I also pick up the weeds. Isn't that cool? So right there, I don't know who invented this thing, but I hope that they have a nice house. Mad respect for whoever invented this. There's another version out there called the Grandpa's Weed Puller. It's a bit more traditional. It doesn't have the ability to like eject it. This is just cool. It reminds me of a tactical weed puller. My Grandpa's Weed Puller, you'll see that posted around. It's not as good. I've actually compared it side by side, and I've just kept this one. I love this one so much. So there you go. This will eradicate your dandelions, and you're welcome. There you go, showing you an example. Isn't that cool? So there is a real world field examples of this actually all the stuff operating out in the field. And thank you for following, by the way, Miriama. Is that how it's pronounced? I don't know, but I appreciate you. And that is it. I like to keep these short and sweet and packed full of delightful information for you guys. So I am broadcasting live here Sunday, August 21st. It is 4:46 in the afternoon. I'm gonna go make some dinner right now. I feel like tacos. Do you feel like tacos? Ooh, tacos sound good. I like Greek food also though. Ooh, okay, my stomach's starting to rumble here. Hey, I gotta head out. All right, remember, you are special. God has made you special. You are important, and you're not important because you're following me or you're giving some kind of kickback. Goodness, no, you are intrinsically important because of who you are. You're not perfect. That's Jesus' job. But anyway, I'm not here to preach at you guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Love you all, and we will catch you later.